is the voice a step towards or away from a treaty? Josh, I want to go to you on this quickly. I mean, what is the government's current stance and commitment to treaty?
The voice is the first part of the Uluru Statement, which calls also for truth and treaty, but I guess we are at stage one. In terms of the government's stance on treaty, I mean, what they've said so far is that basically pointing out that treaty arrangements are already happening in several states around Australia. These things are already occurring without a lot of fuss, really, in a lot of cases. I mean, Queensland's state government has a policy called Path to Treaty. Victoria's First Peoples Assembly is working on, their own sort of pathways to a treaty. When the Prime Minister, Albanese, has been asked about this, he said, the Uluru Statement doesn't necessarily call for Commonwealth-level treaties. Essentially, that there are things happening at state level, and that's all they've really happy to talk about at this stage. So it is, I guess, still an open question.
Thomas, is leaving treaty up to the states good enough for you?
Focused on the voice. I mean, we need to get this across the line. I think the main thing to consider about treaty is not only that they're already underway in the states and the Northern Territory, but the other thing is that both Indigenous and non-Indigenous experts say that treaty is likely to take 30 or 40 years. And so on those priorities in the communities, we're not interested in waiting that amount of time to address those issues that need immediate change.
I understand you are focused on speaking about the voice and about the referendum, but, the day after the referendum, will you be advocating for a Commonwealth or federal-led treaty, or are you happy with the state-led process?
I'm not commenting on that now. I'm focused on the voice. And the reason why I'm just staying strong on this is because the noise is loud enough about all sorts of things that this isn't about. It's 92 words that'll go into the Constitution. It's simply recognising Indigenous people and giving us an ability to have a say, to be listened to. As as was stated earlier by Amy, there is nothing of that type now, and we direly need it.
Amy, is this a concern that you're hearing from Mob, that the federal government won't follow through with a treaty and that, the voice could even set back that effort?
I think that's one of the main concerns, and I think that's replicated by a lot of Mob who are calling for treaty first. I mean, because of this No campaign, because of the racist response, there's an environment in which Albanese can't come out and support treaty. But for Mob, I think it would help if he did, because I think that's the concern I have, is that it is pushed further and further off the political agenda. The processes in the states are quite different. In Queensland, it's just totally in shambles. This is a government that is locking up more and more black children and bypassing its Human Rights Act twice in a year to do so, and in the same breath promising a treaty as if that's going to do anything.